So Martin, we're here 2 years now, nearly to the day when you started this project. So we're nearly May 2024 now, so and the whole project is practically completed. So congrats.
Yes,
and
it's after getting dirty, Bertie, and we're very happy to have dirtied it.
Yeah,
And working exceptionally well.
great. So a lot of stress over, hopefully for you.
Very pleased with it. Like it knocked the full labour unit out of our operation.
Yeah, and so on that, just briefly, how long was it taking you to milk in the old parlour?
It would have been taking, said this time of the year now, said this time last year, I'd said the last milking there in the morning could have taken 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Of actual milking.
Plus your wash up.
Plus the wash up, with 2 persons.
Right. Okay.
This operation here now, the same thing would be done with 1 person in 2.5 hours if it had to, or with the second person around, it could be banged out in 2 hours.
The milking aspect.
The milking would be done within the 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
With 1 person.
Fine. Okay.
And that if it was the second person for the wash down and just at the start to dampen the place down and just lock in the cows and just set it up for going out,
Yeah.
is an advantage. But we can do a lot of the time with 1 person. If there's a person out, or if there's a wedding or a funeral or something unexpected, 1 person can actually do a milking on their own here, and there's no worries with it.
Right. So today we're going to do a final walk through the whole place just to see the finished product. So just to recap, what size rotary?
It's a 60-point Dairy Master with nearly most of the bells and whistles. We got everything we could automation on it.
Right. So as we're looking down, you went for your cluster removers?
Cluster removers would be cluster flush.
Yeah.
In that there's no cross contamination.
Yeah.
A unit is fully sanitized going from the one cow to the next. We have retention bars.
Yeah.
If a cow is not milked out fully or doesn't milk within 70% of whatever the parameters set at,
yeah,
of their average yield for the week before, they will be retained and brought back to the milker.
Okay.
Other than that, you've the auto teat spray.
Yeah.
So the unit will be removed, the ACR will remove it, the cow will be teat sprayed, and the retention arm will lift, and the cow is allowed out. We've 2 different feeds. We've 2 separate bins. We can have a bin 1 with minerals and maybe say a 2 or 3 kilo feed weight for the day would give them adequate protection for grass tetany. And the bin 2 then we can have a feed without minerals, and just by changing the computer we can up the feed weight if we want to, if there's a bad night, yeah, or if grass goes a bit scarce, we can just change it on the computer within a minute. Like.
So you have, I suppose, your washing here, then a pre-wash. That's your boom for washing. That's a handy device. You went for that?
It's very essential.
Yeah.
Like it's something that makes the thing easier. As you can see now that George is dampening down, getting in preparation for the evening milking.
Yeah.
In that by dampening all the concrete and the units, you might say it's a lot of water being used now, but you'll use less water for washing down afterwards. We have a lot of automation done as well with water, and that there's another jet, 2 jets on the bridge. One of them has a food grade water for while the milking is going on, and it's spraying on the cluster, washing the cluster every time it passes before it goes on the fresh cow at the outside. And we have another high volume, something like the jetter that's on that hose there, that can be turned on when the last cow is milked. And as the table is turning, it will do a lot of the washing of the turntable and the units as the table is turning.
Right.
And it all saves the help and makes it easier. What is removing there now is the wash hose, and that this machine is parked in that position for the washing the plant all the time, and that hose is physically put on. And what is being careful watching there now is that there's a sensor there, and that it won't allow the machine go into milk mode unless that sensor is in contact.
Right.
In that it won't allow a person to go milking or turn the turntable with the pipe on. Like.
Okay. So you've 2 roller doors then. Are they down after every milking?
We generally would keep birds out, but the one that's down at the moment now, by accident, turned out to be a very vital door. The only reason I put them there was for frost, and like just to keep the weather out and keep vermin, keep birds out. But when the plant shuts down, the Texas gates open, and we use a back latch to let the cows in. So the cows would actually be in the collecting yard in the morning before milkers would arrive. And the issue would be you could get a cow to go in to the stall, which they would automatically would, and you'd get impatient cows behind them to push, and you'd have a big pile up in a jam in the stall. So it is vital after every milking that's put down to keep cows prevent an accident like that happening.
So he's resetting the gates there now, basically. Here.
Oh yes, that's Jerome now. He's after resetting the gate at the other side, and that it will not allow it to turn until they are manually moved.
Yeah. So Martin, now it's 15:26, so milking has just started. So how many have to be milked?
There's on the evening milking now, I think there's 485, I think.
485, okay. So we'll see how long it gets to take through there. So
this gate here, Bertie, is meshed.
Yeah.
Meshed for safety reasons that a cow can't stick the head out.
Yeah.
Because of the backing gate, it would shear the head. Putting a door there, as you can see, like today is in the worst day, but there's a fine breeze there, like coming up there, like it's like a wind tunnel. What we got fitted here now, in that those gates. If I was doing it again, I'd have fitted them here inside to keep everything flush. But because we didn't do that, and we have an emergency gate up by the feed bins there, the reason for that is in case a cow went down, or if we need to get any vehicle in surface, or need to service the cameras or change a bulb in the lights, not to be driving over the slats. They're tractor slats, but by having the emergency door above, plus if the backing gate is up halfway, you can't pass the backing gate to take time to get it down or whatever. Whereas you can get a machine in that top door, and you'll drive you over, and all slat eliminates that danger. But these flaps, they'll extend out when they're passing these recesses, and it ensures that a cow, like when the gate is coming on here, if a cow was to come down the gate at this point without that, the cow would get get choked.
Yes.
But those rubbers, they extend out and they flex back when they hit the wall then, and they have eliminated that danger.
So you have plenty of space in the yard here anyway? So
yes, we
quite a few more cows if you had 10 time.
We initially designed the yard for 600 cows. But this yard was very successful. I was of the mindset to have a yard big enough to take all my cows. In that the big issue if you're walking alone is to be able to get the cows in so you can start milking.
Yeah, and not have to come out again.
And if you have a yard, and we had that every stage up along the line that we could only barely fit in, you're squeezing and putting pressure on cows, and plus it's more difficult for the operator, and for the sake of a small bit of extra room, it makes an awful difference. If the cows were returning out that way now where they were today, the gate would have to be, I would have had to bring the gate forward, and which I can do, and I have switches outside each gate, so depending on which side I come from, I can turn on the gate, and I can bring the gate past the gates here, and I can divert the cows, the cows come out on top of a floor channel here, and I can divert the cows out that way then once the backing gate is past it.
Yeah.
But as it is this evening now, they're going out the other way.
Martin, as we look up here, so a key part of the project is your handling and drafting area. So you have two crushes. How have they performed for you?
2 crushes, excellent.
Yeah.
I would
highly go back to one.
Highly recommend it. We started milking for the first time the 2nd of May, and I think within with a herd test, I think was within 2 weeks. And we were drinking coffee and eating scones at 10 o'clock. Cows milked. 501 cows milked and 501 cows tested.
Yeah.
1 person milking and two people assisting.
vet. The
It
serious
is
time saving.
fear sufficient.
Yeah.
In that the vet was constantly going.
Yeah.
In that we'd be loading the left and he'd be walking on the right and vice versa.
Okay.
But very, very successful.
Do you like the raised platform here in the middle too?
Beautiful job.
Yeah,
and this wall is an excellent job for cows. Look, I know it won't work for sucklers now, but for dairy cows now that are calm and it works out very well. In that, as you see, every time a cow comes in, the vet will be faced with the right hand side of the cow.
Yeah.
The cow tends to put their head up to get away from you here, so there's no problem reading the tag.
It's presenting.
And for the vet, there's no problem presenting for doing the clipping and doing the testing.
Yeah.
Like it has worked out a sweet job.
How many cows do you fit in each race?
I'm not exactly sure there. I'd say possibly about I'd set it about 14 or 15 that way.
Okay.
Did not want to have a very long one because we had a very long push before. And what we found that there was fierce pressure being applied on the front cows.
The slatted channel?
Well, very successful. Look, you might say it's dirty, but it gets no dirtier than that.
Yeah.
Like it's self-cleaning. It never gets any worse than what is there now at the moment. Like that would not have been cleaned with weeks.
Yeah. So three-way drafter?
Three-way drafter.
Do you invariably draft to the left or the right, or have you?
You can change inside whichever you want. Like what very often happens there, you might put your AI cows actually out to the left, and if there was a cow you wanted to inject or have a look at, like for the treatment or that, you could send her to this side and she'd be straight in front of the crush for after milking.
So I see there any cow that gate then is helping prevent cows from back on.
You can just see now there's a retention bar down there now that cow is not milked out.
Yeah.
And the air never went off for the cow that was still milking, but the air went off for the red cow because she wasn't inclined to get out.
Yeah.
But there was a serviceman. There's a share of nuts in the some of the feeders, the early numbers there, because there was an issue today that the serviceman was trying to solve with the nuts, and that there was a bit of setting up or something in an auger or something, and as a result he was putting out nuts, and those nuts of course are not eaten as yet now.
Yeah.
But that is the issue. If you're heavy feeding, you have to slow down the turntable to give them time to eat the nuts.
Yeah, to get through the body.
Like when we had the bad weather all along, now we went up to 6 and 6.5 kilos feed weight, and we actually had to slow down the turntable.
So 3 in each milking you were getting, is it?
3 in each milking, yeah. If you went fast for the first round, you'd be very slow for the second round. So faster was slower. Yeah. But as you can see, the Texas gate, you couldn't do without it.
They'll kill each other there on the wing, otherwise they'll be hopping off each other.
You'd lose a lot of time because you get 2 cows jammed into the one station. Like we had an issue with the compressor at one stage, the sunlight got trouble there, and the Texas gate wasn't working. We had to actually, someone had to go up here and just control them going in. Like it's a must. Like
it's not something people would see very much of.
No, I suppose the idea came to me through the. I worked a lot of years ago in the beet factory, and they used to have a much larger scale cannon now, but they used to use these for washing in the beet, and that the beet used to be washed into gullies and pumped into the factory or pumped up onto the cleaning areas, like. Right. But and like I had this water inside the tank, and where there was your soil water, and plus. That yard would get very grazy in fine weather, and that when your cow's bulling this time of the year now, and if you got a fine day, the film of slurry that would be left after the scraper, it would get very slippy. Yeah. But by being able to wash it, like it eliminates that, like, and it has to be pumped out. But look, it came at a cost. Like I'm not so sure exactly, but it could be 14,000-15,000 went into that side of the project.
For this type of washing system?
For the wash system, like the pumping side was about 7,000, I'd say. Yeah. But heavy on power as well, then, like in that we can't run that pump now with our power when we have the compressors and the parlour going. But once the parlour's turned off, we can wash down there. We just have to be
How often would you
careful.
use that?
Pardon?
How often in a day do you use it? Every milking?
After every milking, yeah. Or you'd have to, even if you didn't want to wash the yard, you'd turn it on, but you might just flick it down onto the ground there and leave it go away, because you have to empty the tank inside to have room for the next milkings.
Okay.
Like, so like the water has to be pumped in to get down to the lower tanks. But like it'll serve a purpose. Like about 5 minutes, like 10 minutes at most, you'd have the whole yard
From
washed
one
down there
location.
from that location.
Yeah.
But we have the odd one there, in that the other one would be used if we were using the crushers, or say once we go AI now, we'd give the pins a rub down every couple of days.
Yeah.
But if we were testing now, 10 minutes initial work with that, and the area that's all crap out there after the testing, the crushers would be all washed down. Like, it's labour saving.
Yeah.
This is the close on 7,000.
She's driving the cannon.
She's driving the cannon, and that there's a Kylie 2,800 gallon tank in the ground there, and that.
So Jerome is milking anyway. So what's the routine? What's the routine with milk preparation? Or
our routine here is keep the cow clean in the first place, and we don't touch the cow unless the cow is dirty.
okay.
Like there's paper toweling, and if he touches the cow, we have a manual teeth spray. If a cow has to be cleaned, he'll post spray it in to sanitize the teats again. Like,
Yeah.
but at this time of the year, as
outside,
you
they're
see, like we've gone with the AstroTurf, we've gone with the long slatted tank. Everything is done to try and keep the crap off the place, so the cows are clean coming into the parlour.
So that's his controls then, the main control panel.
That's the main control panel, but he has an awful lot of information here then, but the milking now this evening, like there's 238 cows gone on the console, and it's 43 minutes since the milking started. This is probably adequate for most persons. Another very important area here that I picked up my own was to have a toilet near the milker.
Yeah.
Like it's the main work area. Very important to have it here. I've seen them put into kind of inside in offices or changing rooms, but it means that there's a more of a risk of like your boots are going to be wet and a bit crappy, and you end up ducting another area then, plus it's further away. Like, it's a simple thing, but makes a difference.
Oh, I can imagine.
This is the other thing that's very, very beneficial as well. Like, especially when you relief milkers in, it means a board like this, you can put the information up there, and like they can have the number of the paddock that the cows are in and where they're going, and it just helps to make things easier for people that run on the farm regularly to follow.
And your important phone numbers then?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they're handy to have as well.
Yeah, that,
No.
but like there's always things always go perfect day to day, but it is at the time that a person comes in that's not familiar with it, a small thing could be a big problem in a shot. Like,
So the floor then, so Jerome is tall like yourself, but obviously there's different people milking, so has that been helped?
oh yes, vital. We have a young lady there now, like, and she'd have the platform up to the very last.
Right.
Actually, if I was doing that pal rigging, I'd actually have the whole floor area 2 inches higher.
Okay.
And that we probably, I suppose, like we're tall as a family, and I suppose we were kind of walking off our wall pal a little bit. But with the moving platform, you could afford to have it a little bit higher, in that to facilitate shots of people, like, But the platform, delighted with, there's a lovely spring in it. Like Jerome now would have got a lot of issues from his back in the past, but getting on very well with the last few months now and that. Like,
He's a good routine going there.
This is another thing now, Bertie, that was changed. We initially were going to have the dump line inside in the washroom, but lucky enough we changed our mind. We brought it out here, in that the quad can be very dirty, and to be bringing that out to the front of the building and back into the wash area would have been bringing a lot of crap there. But the main reason I changed it actually at the time was when you're milking, if this was leaking the pipe or conduit or the valve left open, the milker would see it straight away. And like keeping the steps, like that's the key area in a rotary, the platform, and keeping the amount of steps small from that area is key. These two cap pins improved really saved a lot of work in that. What we tend to do here is we have the youngest calves here, so the person that's on the calves, if there's a bucket coming around here, he can put the bucket off at this point and have the milk just where he wants it. Or we have 110 litre cats at the other side there, so it's very easy to bring them around. But Donovan Engineering did all the steel work for that side of it in. Yeah. But it's something I was trying to achieve down the line is to do a purpose car shed near the parlour. Like in that we're utilising old houses now at the moment, but there's a lot of time because they're the distance from the parlour. But
so this was a busy area all spring, obviously. So
very busy. The top level now is at a higher level, and they are actually carving pins or vet pins, I'd call them, due to the fact that we didn't do the build out, that we shortened our build and didn't cover the area outside. We were supposed to have the carving pins at the higher level above. But we'd have been caught without a straw here if we had an animal now sick this evening or whatever. Like that's why it's at a split level here, and they're done as it like carving pins above. But we actually, after the first week, just calves have been in there. Like calves have been the pressure area here, like due to there being extra weeks on the place.
So bedding wise, then, Martin, how often did you bed them, and did you let the straw build up?
They would be topped up every day. And they'd be cleaned or manually. A round bale is usually dropped in the door there, and it would be rolled up to here. It's actually easy enough to roll a bale, and it's usually at this point. But at this time of the year now, look, there's very little happening. So, like, I down to a few calves, but very happy with that now. Like, you know. Like, would have liked to have had my calving pins up above and had this all calves at the one level. But
so George has been a big help all spring anyway.
George a big help, and George is here through yourselves, Grass Tech.
Yeah, you're only here for another few days, is that right?
George, unfortunately, there'll be a tear in our eye. George is unfortunately going back to his family next week.
Back to Romania after a hard spring.
George reared all the calves here.
Yeah, fair play.
He was excellent at it.
Yeah, well done.
But no, we were very fortunate because, as you well know, Bertie, we were in crisis here in the first week of February. We had a very good young man that started his apprenticeship, and we could not replace him. And we had to put in accommodation, and he provided George. Yeah. We could not locally get anyone at the time.
And I suppose the key for that was your accommodation. You were able to solve a solution on that.
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
The modular home was our only way out. Like, you know, and look, we're delighted. It worked out very well. Like, you know, like George was an excellent person to work with.
Yeah, that's great. Your bed area here then. So what functions have you done here? I know there's a bit of calf feed being prepared here, but for the cows, what functions have you actually used it for?
We used it initially, this time last year, we used it big time for tail painting because the collars were only fitted after we started milking the 2nd of May. So like we were using tail paint, I'd say, for about 3-4 weeks, but the collars then took over. The collars were working very successful, so we started to rely on the collars and discarded the paint early in the time. We would cut tails, very handy, like, you know. If there was a bit of spare help around the place, a person could be cutting away a few tails as the milk is going on.
So if you were doing this again, you'd have more space, would you, for cabinets for maybe medicines?
I would if I'd put it at a higher level here, but maybe just a lower level for where just behind the cows, and I'd probably have it sloping in or sloping out, like, you know, slightly. And that, like, that crap tends to flow back this way. I don't know, we changed our plans, making a bit pins out of behind us.
Yeah.
But like, it should be sloping out.
Let's have a look where the milk is going, so where it ends up.
We have a milk silo, so the milk is stored outside, just that you have the controls of the silo here and the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Everything, like, there's actually, everything is sealed. Like, there's a changeover valve here for changing from milking to washing. I can't flick it down now because milk is going on, but basically the milk is coming down this pipe now. That valve is closed and that valve is open, so it's coming down this pipe and off into the tank. But when you flick this lever, it closes that valve and it opens this one, so it connects the wash line. So the milk line comes down and is diverted off up this way, the wash line.
Yeah.
Like, but you have no open areas. You have a sensor here. Like, if that's in contact with the sensor, it will not allow the milk. Like, it won't allow the milking machine to start. And vice versa, they won't allow the, like, you know, that sensor has to be in contact for the wash to be allowed to start. You have an inspection here. Obviously, you can't open it when there's milk inside it, but it's easy enough to open, and you could inspect, like, but you can only do that a couple of times a year, like, you know, that the wash is quite successful in it.
Yeah.
Very happy with it, like, particularly the small volumes, solid, you know, and started here. Like, you have a small surface area, the one evaporator is only on the floor. She'll automatically won't allow turn on until there's so much leakage inside, until the floor is covered. And the second evaporator or compressor is not allowed to come on until until you have so many leakage, and again, you know, which means that the second evaporator is on the walls. So, like, it means that evaporator is mostly covered before the load turns on. So, like, we used to have problems with the tanks before freezing. We'd have 2 and 3 rounds milk before we turned it on, and this crack, you know, it made it difficult. Like, oh, well, this is foolproof. Plus, I'll get a text if there was so much milk went into that now. If that wasn't turned on now, and it depends on what to set at. Like, but I'd say if there was 800 litres, I'd say inside it. It's early enough anyway. It'll send the text that there's 800 litres inside, and that there's a temperature at 18 and there's no compressor on. And you can actually turn the tank on from your phone.
Very nice.
You know, which is very handy if you have leaf milker in, like, just in case there'll be a mishap.
So it's counting the leaves as well there.
Yeah, the leafage, look, it would be reasonable accurate, like,
yeah.
You know.
It just gives you an indication.
You know, it gives an indication, like.
Yeah.
Like the milk lorry driver comes in and he'll just take off this cover and his threaded fitting. Well, he actually, in this case now, we got the biggest threaded fitting that was available, but there's a reducer that he has to fit to bring it down to the size of the hose at the moment. But like, when he opens the valve in, and he can take out and he can draw off, even if he can't know with milking, he can draw off as well. Like, that was a problem with the old parlour. If milking was going on, the hose was going on to the bottom of the tank, so you couldn't draw off milking going on. But it can happen in this case. But the beauty of this thing is this cover goes on, and all threads in the whole lot is washed, and it's totally sealed. And like, this valve would be out this way when there's washing, and whenever the next milking comes on, then that valve has to be turned back when the person is changing that. Yeah, but like, everything is nice and near there. You have the filter unit over here. Then again, I suppose you would call them kind of a sock. Yeah. But like, in that.
Are you happy with that?
I'm surprised. Like, you know, I used to have very large cloth ones before in the old parlour. There's only 25 units, and like, they used to be under pressure. But there's 2 of them in this, and like, they're coping very well with it. Like, you know, we never had any issue any spring. Like, you know, that there'd only be a small bit of duct here on the bottom. Like, you know, they seem to stay very clean up along the duct and be here on the bottom. And like, basically what we do is we wash out. Like, that was the one of the ones that was on this morning, and we have a container with Pacific acid over here, and we swap we leave the morning ones are there sanitizing, and they'll go back in now after the evening milking. But quite easy to clean them out, like, you know, that you can turn them inside out if you can, like, but like they have 12 months done now. Yeah. Like, there's basically 4 socks, 2 we use for any milking, and like I don't see any reason why they won't be lasting a bit longer. Like, yeah. It's actually a cost saving, like, because we were using replacement socks, plus you would find bin every fortnight of socks going for the waste collection, whereas this is a little bit more for sure. Keeping Mr. Ryan happy. But the main thing is just keeping the pocket happy, and that you don't have the cost of the filters. Yeah. But very handy system here as well. I know by fault I was cut for milk one evening there, and all I did was there was no, there wasn't enough cows to be dumped or whatever. and this is top of one of the churns for the milking, but basically one of the cats out there was at the place this on top of it, and that with the weight it stayed there and all, and just open the valve there, and I was at the draft whatever litre I wanted over a short period, in that like the milk was filtered, but it's before the plate cooler, so it's still warm for calf feeding, but like for getting off a small, say from this period on now, when the amount of calves are small, and if there wasn't a big lot going through the dump line,
you can take a bit. So your auto wash then?
Auto washes, the controls are here. Like, that's the tank for it. Yeah. Tis just like you have the choice yourself whether you go for hot wash, cold wash, or whether you go for a descaler.
Milk docket holder, have you found that useful?
It keeps these tidy, and that like with doors opening or wind blowing. Yeah. You know,
keep your dockets together.
Like it keeps everything together. Like, you know, that's one of your own one, Burton. Grass tick.
Yeah, I need to have it.
But look, we still have a bit of cosmetic stuff to do here. Like, it's very hard to get tradespeople.
Yeah, it's like any project to finish it to the finer detail.
Like, I know we're going on 12 months. I know, like, but there's like, you know, that we have a few cosmetic things to do, like, you know. Yeah. But the project, very, very happy. Like, you know, this is our milk silo. Like, you will look at the controls inside of it. Like, it's a 30,000 litre milk silo. You won't move that, Bertie. They won't put their. What I was afraid there was that the milk lorry, or maybe a ration lorry, or maybe some fella with a silage trailer, or a vacuum tank or anything.
We do wreck.
Or some fella that took the wrong turning and came up here with turning. If they were to back into a milk silo, it wouldn't be just the cost of it all. Like, how would you go milking this evening if some fella was out to back into that and damage it? Yeah. Like, you would have an awful headache, don't mind the financial side of it. So when we were doing the concrete here, I stuck a couple of reinforcing barrels in the ground there, and I just cut the top off of 2 barrels in a day or 2 later and stood them over and filled it. We might get flower pots up and it'll look better eventually, but the purpose of it is to make sure that no fella backs into the silo. Yeah. Like, you know, in that by the time he hits that, he'll know it.
For sure. So Martin, that brings us to the end of the project. A marathon project now for you, 2 years later.
Well, it was a long project.
Yeah, and designing before that, so I suppose, look, again, Jerome is at the right age now to the rest of his career here as well, and it's intergenerational in that sense. So.
I'll be 60 next year, so I'll be hanging up my shoes if there were the next generation coming like this.
So. No, he's a fantastic project to work with now going forward for his own career as well.
Yeah, I think it is as good as we get, like between yourselves now, Dairy Master, I think we've got it as good as we can get for the time.
That's for sure. Martin, thanks for your time.
Thank you,
Best of luck.
Thank you.